everyone, so today I'm back with another side-by-side foundation review, and if you guys have been long followers of my channel, you will have known that I did a Pony Effect Everlasting Cushion Foundation review together with their eye quad, which recently released. It's called their Conceptual eye quad. I'll leave a link below or somewhere on the screen. But basically, I did a review on this, and she recently released another cushion foundation, and this one's called the Coverstay Cushion Foundation. So both I got in the same shade, and I just thought that a better way to try both formulations than to do a half and half side-by-side comparison, so that, you know, I mean, it's easy to make a mistake and choose one that's not really good for you, but I just figured that both have really similar claims, but it's good to put them side by side to test them. So yeah, if you guys want to see how these two apply, then just keep on watching. Okay, so this is the condition of my skin at the moment, and I think it's behaving pretty well, but I am sick at the moment. Sorry if it looks if I'm like naked, but you know, I have a top. It is escalating in condition just because I'm sick and I have a flu, and my skin always acts up whenever I'm on medication or anything. I'm pretty sensitive like that, so yeah, take a good look. You can see how both cushions sort of compare. And also, excuse my voice, I'm a little sick, so I hope you guys don't mind. So anyways, as you guys saw previously, this was the cushion I tried. We'll be trying the Everlasting Cushion Foundation on this half of my face, and we'll be trying the new Coverstay Cushion Foundation on this side. The differences in packaging, I mean, it's very sleek and very similar. This one is just rose gold and a lot more pink, which I really like. It's so cute. And yeah, this one's just their very standard sleek looking Pony Effects packaging, and both of these do come with an additional refill, which is amazing. I have a little bit of an error. So previously when I tried this, I said that I prefer to apply it with a foundation sponge, so I threw away the puff. But in any case, I'm just going to be using this MAC Cosmetics puff. I mean, similarly, the new packaging comes with a puff, and it's pretty substantially thick. And I find that this one is slightly thinner than the MAC one, but you know, it's very, very highly comparable. So as you open the compact, it's a very dense flat sponge, and also it's just saturated with a lot of liquid foundation, so there's not much else to it. I mean, one thing to note is that it's just really, really flat a sponge, so I find that really unique. As you can see, one press gives you a lot of pigment. Coverage it gives is really, really full coverage, and also it blends really easily. The moment you start pressing it, it sort of just blends itself, and it's not super difficult to work with. I think that the coverage is really high, and it is significantly lighter than my actual skin tone, but it is the darkest that they have. I think this has a very nice yellow undertone, as I mentioned previously, and yeah, it's looking really nice. It gives a very tacky finish, but I don't mind. It just makes my skin look really plump and radiant compared to, you know, without anything on it. And yeah, it makes me look really brightened and fresh. And I think previously when I was talking about this, I just really liked how it wasn't too light in coverage, and also it was very true to a liquid type foundation formulation. It's really thick, and also it just looks really great, and it doesn't look like you're wearing too much product on your face. So yeah, moving on to the other side. So this is how the Coverstay compact looks like, very similar. And as you open it up, there's a seal. So looking at it, it's actually exactly the same. It's not any different. I mean, in terms of technology, there's no veil. It's just a classic cushion. And the sponge is just saturated with product as well. So let's just try this. So one press is a lot of product. Okay, so this is the other side that's applied. I was actually thinking that there will not be significant differences, but actually there is. This side is not as tacky as this side for one. And also as it applies, I find that this is really, it's like even more blendable than how this one was. This on the Everlasting Cushion side, it was a lot more blendable in a way that liquid foundation would apply, but this side I felt like it had some sort of a, I wouldn't say powdery consistency, but it's a lot less liquid, if that makes sense. And yeah, as it's setting now, there's no tack to it whatsoever, so this side seems a lot more dewy, as you can see the shine, and this side not too much. So it's really different. Shade wise, it's still very true to, you know, nude beige. Both perform equally the same in terms of the shade, so it kind of looks like it is one, so I'm not too disturbed about going out the house with two different foundations. This one is really high in coverage as well. I think both in terms of coverage they sit really well, and I was really shocked. I didn't expect it to have a very remarkable kind of a difference because everything looked pretty similar. I think that this is one that applies like not too drying on the skin. It doesn't reflect a very powdery finish right when you apply it, or even when you touch the consistency in the pan, but it's more like it sets to that kind of a very natural and barely there finish. I feel like if I had to compare both sides, I think that this side has more of a, it feels like there's something on the skin, if that makes sense, and the other side doesn't really. I mean, because there's no slip to it, there's no tackiness, it feels like nothing is on the skin. However, both, I think they're really lightweight. It's just that if you really hate, I emphasize the feeling of foundation, then you would prefer the Coverstay one. But looking at skin type as well, I think this one sits really well on oily skin, and this one sits really well on combination to dry. But personally, I like both really well. I might even go to the extent to say that I would apply a very light layer of this and go over with this just to mix the formulation up. But I really like the plumpness it gives to my skin even though I am oily. So yeah, as you can see, this is how it looks. I'll bring you in closer. Okay, and that's how the finish of both look from afar. And what do you think? I really like it. I mean, pony effect cushions are the ones that I really favor the most, because they are not trying to dabble into like a very light coverage, very actress kind of makeup. It's just gonna be your full coverage, perfect for someone who wants a flawless complexion kind of a person. And I mean, because both sort of have SPF 50 in it, this definitely will have a flashback in flash photography. You will have a white cast over your face, but I still think it makes me look pretty radiant, and most foundations do that anyway, so I don't really mind. Another thing to note is that both are scented products. I think this one more heavily scented than this one. It's just a, I wouldn't say florally, it's just a pony effect signature kind of a scent. It smells like powder and flowers, if that makes sense. So yeah, but I find the Coverstay one doesn't have that much of a scent. I mean, it does, but it's not as fragrant as their first cushion compact, the Everlasting one. So yeah, I hope in the close-ups you guys could see the differences, but likewise, giving it about 3 to 5 minutes to set, this side is still tacky and this one is completely matte at this point. So yeah, depending on the finish you like in your skin type, you might choose one over the other. So I'm just going to do the rest of my makeup and I'll get back to you. Okay, and that's all my makeup done, and I hope you guys can see the differences on both sides. So just to recap, this side is the Everlasting cushion, the blue packaging, and this is the pink one, the Coverstay foundation. And yeah, basically I tried to put it through the ringer by doing cream contouring, powder contouring, highlight, cream highlight, powdered highlight, and that kind of thing. So what I noticed is that clearly the side with the more dewy finish, it did not set any further, so it did maintain with that semi-dewy effect. So it did shift as I blended other products on top of it, and certain acne spots have been revealed, but I still think that it wore away pretty nicely. This side, the Coverstay side, it has set to a fully matte kind of a finish, but it's a very comfortable matte. It's not tightening by any means, and the coverage ability is still maintained. As I blend the cream contour, it shifts a very slight bit, but not as much as this side, because this side did set quite quickly, to be frank, and also not much else to add at this point. I think that both coverage wise is really high, as I mentioned, and yeah, I did have to do a little bit of bronzing to make this match me a little better, but overall I still really think that it is very, very good on both ends. So yeah, enough rambling. I'll check back in when I get back. Okay, so I'm back from a pretty long day, and I think I got sicker. Like, my throat is feeling really inflamed, and it's not helping that my room doesn't have a fan. I have to use the aircon or put it at a lower mode, but you know, air condition really dries out the throat. But that aside, I will get better. And yeah, this is how the left side looks like with the Coverstay, and the right with the everlasting cushion. I think that the everlasting cushion held up pretty well, and I did try it before, so I know this to be true. And yeah, I think it looks really good. The dew is still there, but I found that I did have to blot like this area a little bit with a facial tissue or just a tissue paper so that the oils don't start seeping through. I did not set any of this with powder, so basically on this side I find that my oils also did seep through, but it did not make me too shiny. I think the formulation keeps the oils from coming through, and it doesn't make it too oily too quick, if that makes sense. But this side, because it starts out dewy, it will just escalate from there. So I suggest that if you like this kind of a finish but you just want it slightly mattifying, then just dust a little bit of powder under the eye and your T-zone, that area. So yeah, not much else to add. I just think that Pony Effects does great cushions, and I think that if you see any other foundation cushion that claims to be full coverage or whatever and you're not really sure about it, this is one that I'm sure about. It's really full coverage, it's buildable, and also it just is perfect. It's one of my favorites. So yeah, if you guys have any other questions, do leave it in the comment box below, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Without further rambling, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!